rotate your camera, can't on your phone. Hello everybody, how are you? My name is Seyi. It's been a long time, it's been quite a while since the lockdown. How are you coping with your lockdown? How are you coping with staying at home? You know, with everything, working from home, with children, everything. How are you working? How are you coping with it? So I'm just here this afternoon just to check up on you and just say one or two things, you know, at this period where we are in. I know there's a lot going on around, but I'm just going to share, you know, a few things with you today. So my question to you today is, how are you coping? How are you taking care of your mental health at this moment? And my topic today is going to be basically on loneliness. How are you coping with being lonely at this period? How are you coping with everything going on at this moment? A lot of things, you know, people are taking a lot of things for granted, staying at home. You have your husband at home, you have the children at home, you have the wife at home, which basically you're not used to, you know, as we know. And how are you coping with that loneliness? How are you coping with the lockdown? How are you coping with the fact that you have to make 4 or 5 square meal a day? You know, how are you coping with the children always knocking at your door? So, mommy, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. How are you coping with your mental health? How are you making yourself a priority? You know, how are you coping with the void? How are you coping with having to teach the children yourself? And most importantly, how are you coping with your mindset, with your mental health? How are you coping? Are you coping well? There's a lot going on around, but if you know me, I am an advocate of taking care of yourself and making yourself a priority at this time. How are you supposed to make yourself a priority? You know, I was in a group and the lady, you know, came out and said, I am lonely at this point. I'm really lonely. And I was really caught aback, and that's actually my motivation for doing this video. And a lot of people there kept saying, it's well, God is in control, and things like that. And that really got me really sad, because I know I've been in the place of loneliness before. And I know at that point, what you just want to hear is not, is well, God is with you. Yes, I am. If you know me, I love God, and I cannot at any time downplay the facts about God. But sometimes we need to actually understand what it means to be lonely. For the married people, you might be at home, but you might still be lonely. You might be a widow, especially with a widow and all that. There's nobody there. You're lonely, but at the same time, you cannot express your loneliness to your children, because you just have to be strong for them. For the single parent, yes, the children are in at the moment, you're working from home and all that, all your fears and all that. That makes you lonely. How about if at this point that everybody's losing their jobs, income, business, you know, business is not doing as you expect. I'm into event management and we've had to cancel a lot of things, you know, at this point. Nobody's getting married, nobody's having any party. How do you deal with that loneliness? What are the practical things that you need to do? And how are you making yourself a priority? How are you helping yourself to not be lonely? Because loneliness sometimes, you know, can cause a lot of things. Depression, when there's nobody to talk to. And sometimes a lot of us, we are lonely, but there's nobody to talk to, because you're scared that people might make you, you know, might laugh at you. But I'm here today to tell you that really it's okay for you to be lonely in your world. It's okay for you to feel lonely, because we didn't make ourselves, that feeling is there for a purpose. But how do you do with it? If you're married, is your spouse a support system for you? And if he or she is not, where are you getting your source of support? If you're a parent and your child is your support system, are you using it? And if they're not, what are you using at this time to help yourself? Do you have a support system that can help you to cope with your loneliness? Are you journaling your feeling and trying to address the fact that Why am I lonely? Why do I feel this way? Am I feeling this way because I've lost income? Am I feeling this way because the environment at home is not, is not that I, that I enjoy? If you're that kind of person that you're an extrovert, you always want to go out and you are there all by yourself, how are you coping with that? Are you writing things down? Are you trying to analyze? There's a lady today that was saying that I thought I was a friend to a lot of people, but in this lockdown, nobody has called me. Am I actually a friend to somebody? Because nobody has called me since the lockdown. So how do you cope with things like that? And that has affected our being feeling worthy and things like that. But I'm here to tell you that you can cope with your loneliness. And that's why we're here. We talk to people, we help, with a lot of things. And I'm just going to share one or two things. We do have a weekly Zoom, and we have one-to-one with people where we just get to talk to people and just get to see, check up on them, and just also get to see how people are coping. Because sometimes it's not just about providing food for people, about just, sometimes it's actually understanding and being there for people. My question to you, do you have somebody, I've touched on one, two things there. So the first one is you need a support system. I don't know what you respond to, but you need to have a support system. What support? I have a list of them that we can look through. Just DM me or just send me an email, that we can look at what kind of support system do you have in place. If you don't, you need one at this period. You need somebody to just catch up with. Do you have people that can actually listen to you, that will not judge you, that would not, that will not just say, oh, I thought he was a Christian, I thought, oh, but you should believe in God, you should be able to have faith at this point and just believe everything should work and all that. No. You need somebody that can actually listen to you at this point in time. You need somebody that you can actually express your feelings to, that really, this is how I'm feeling at this moment. At this moment, I'm really feeling vulnerable. At this moment, I'm really feeling as if I want to, I'm losing it. Somebody was telling me that at this moment I'm feeling, sometimes I was feeling as if I'm actually not a good father because I'm not coping with these children at this point in time. And that's part of it, because don't forget, you've gone to work from morning, you're not used to the fact, lockdown, 12 hours with children shouting all around, it could actually get your temperament out, sometimes. So you need somebody that can listen to you, somebody that will not judge you, somebody that will not go around, talking, you need somebody to listen to you. And if you're that kind of person that likes writing, this is a good time to journal. This is a good time to take a walk in the garden, if you can take a walk and write what you're feeling at this period. When you actually identify the feeling that you're having and trying to see why am I feeling this way, it helps, because then you can put measures in place to help you with your loneliness. For example, you might be lonely because since the lockdown, you've not actually done any form of exercise, you've not walked, you've been locked in the room, all you're doing is just watching Netflix and things like that. It could make you lonely because you're just there, you're just eating, you're just lying down. You might, when you assess that situation, you can actually think, okay, what can I do to actually challenge myself? Do I need to read? Do I need to do some other things that would challenge me? Do I need to learn a language? Something to just switch your brain off from your focus at the moment. Another thing that you can think of is, am I lonely because nobody's calling me? Am I lonely because there's something that I need to address at this point? You need to look at those things and actually address them and look at it. Am I lonely because I've lost my job? Am I lonely because there's no income that is coming at the moment? Am I lonely because at the beginning of 2020, like a lot of us, we had a lot of things planned. We had our goals, we had our vision boards, we had everything. We're really, really excited, especially for the wedding industry. There were a lot of things that's planned for 2020, and you've had all that, and we're in April, and you're a little bit lonely because you feel you've not achieved anything at all, and because of that, it's making you really apprehensive, because nothing is similarly the way you think they should be, especially now, because at this point We should have actually made maybe our first quarter goals, and you're a little bit apprehensive at this point. And I'm just going to just stay a little bit on being apprehensive and being, a lot of people say, oh, don't feed your fear, stay on faith is what you feed that would, come. But sometimes you need to pause and say, okay, I don't want to feel my fear, but I also want to actually see what is real and actually handle it. So I'm just going to stay a little bit on when you are lonely, or because you are apprehensive about how to move on in life. You are apprehensive about not achieving your goals at this point. You are apprehensive about the fact that, when would all this be over? I don't understand. I don't know how long I can live like that. And you're a little bit apprehensive at this point in time. So I'm just going to be dwelling on that. And, I was studying the Bible yesterday, and the Lord showed me something, I think, yesterday, and I was just screaming on my own. And it's in the book of Numbers, chapter 11, verse 21. I'm just going to read it, and for a lot of us, we know the story, when the children of Israelites were complaining to Moses that, oh, they've been eating manna, and we want to eat something different. And let's see, and they were complaining, and let's see what Moses had to do. He had to speak to God, because he had to tell God and say, look at these people that you have given me, they are complaining. And see, Moses said in verse 21, he says, and Moses said, the people whom, I'm looking down because I'm reading, bear with me. And Moses said, the people whom I am among are 600,000 men on foot. Yet you have said, I will give them meat, that they may eat for a whole month. Shall flocks and herds be slaughtered for them, to provide enough for them? Or shall all the fish of the sea be gathered together for them, to provide enough for them? Even Moses, in his widest dream, saw that it was impossible for God to provide meat for 600,000 men on foot. Do you understand? Moses was like, yes, I believe you, God, but I don't see how realistic that will be. Are you going to go and get all the fish and slaughter it? Are you going to go and get all the meat, all the flock, and slaughter it and just give it to these people that are complaining? Would you do that? Even Moses did not understand the kind of God he was dealing with. He didn't believe God. He was like, no. But let's see what the response of God, and that's going to be my response to you as I finish this video. In verse 23, and the Lord said to Moses, as the Lord's arm shortened. That's God telling Moses, as my hand shortened. Yes, you might not see it, yet you might not understand it. Yes, you might not know how I'm going to feed these 600,000 men on foot. And he said, now you shall see whether what I say will happen to you or not. I love God. And he's telling Moses that, you think my hand is shortened? You think I will not provide for you? You think all I've told you, that I'm bringing you out of Israel, I cannot take care of you? And that's my challenge to you today. I don't know what your situation is at the moment. That is, I'm dwelling on the fact that if you're lonely due to you're in business, you're home, you've lost your income, nothing seems as if you're going to meet whatever you plan to, because there's no income, and if you're in where we are now, you know how things are. But God told Moses, do you think my hand is shortened? No. I will let you know that everything I say, I will do. So God is telling you today that everything that is said to you, no matter how real you think it is, you might look at your bank account and your card is declined, there's only £1 or whatever that is left there, and you're like, how will I feed my children? How will I do that? But the Bible says that the Lord said, my hand is not shortened. And the verse I like most was when God provided it. The Bible says in the book of, in that verse 31, it says, and the wind went out from the Lord, and it brought quail from the sea, and left them fluttering near the camp. So Moses would have expected that God would kill the frogs or go and get all the fish, but God didn't need to do that. Our God is a God of possibility, and I'm just encouraging you, to just jump in with my faith and my excitement today. God is a God of possibility. Sometimes when you think God is going to bring it up for, it's not entirely what God would do. Who would have expected that God would provide quail by using the wind? Who would have expected that? Do you understand? Who would have expected that? Yes, now we are locked down, but this will be the best time that your income will come. Who would have expected that is in the lockdown that you start a new business? Who would have expected that is this lockdown that you flourish? I'm just really excited because when you have this excitement and you just want to share with the people, whatever the issue is at the moment, whatever impossibility that you are seeing at the moment, whatever thing that is making you lonely, that is making you sad, and you go, I'm just tired of everything. I'm here to tell you this afternoon, the arm of the Lord is not shortened, and everything that He says, He will do. He's too faithful to leave us. He's too faithful to let us go. I'm just here this afternoon just encouraging somebody. I'm really excited because I know it's, I've had a taste of God several times when I know that, I can't come out of this case, and eventually something will happen, somebody will something, and I'm there living and with a prayer that is being answered miraculously. And I have so many testimonies sometimes, and I'll tell you one before I leave. There was a day I was coming back from work, and the Lord told me to actually go buy salt for a lady. And I'm like, oh no, why would I just go to somebody's house and say, oh, the Lord said I should buy you salt? But I said, okay, I won't do that. So I went to the store, so I got some other groceries together, and I bought those things so that it won't seem as if I'm just buying salt. And when I got to the lady's house, and gave her the things I bought, she ran and looked into what I bought, and all she could think about was all she was looking for was if there was salt in it. And she picked the salt, and she was quite emotional, and I was wondering, why is she emotional? And she said she was so down to the extent that when she was cooking a rice or something, she just discovered that there was no salt, and she started crying and said, how bad can it be that I don't even have salt in my house? And here is somebody that God is laying it on her heart to buy salt for that person. So I just want to encourage you to actually trust God at this period. You don't know where He's going to do it. You don't know how He's going to do it for you. Everything might be down. You might not even feel like standing up from the bed because you don't feel like, you don't feel like doing that. It's okay. It's okay for you to be low.